as I said before we went into headlines, this is not the time to run out half-cocked. I don't care who says to go out and protest. You are being baited into repeating what a few rioters did on January 6th. Now, we were live on air when this happened. And it was pretty, I was watching some of this. And one of the things that I noted, because I knew people who were at the Trump rally at the Ellipse, and then there were blocks and blocks away, there were people who were at the Capitol. And we were some of the first people to express anger at the few destructive rioters. And do I believe, if you're asking my personal opinion, if I believe that there were some Fed boys amongst the crowd, why, yes, I do. But that being said, I also know human nature. And there were a few destructive rioters who were out there busting windows that we, the taxpayers, paid for in the Capitol building that we own. I don't know about you, but stuff I buy, I don't like seeing it getting broke. You know what I mean? And we just spent all this time blasting Antifa for rioters, for rioting. So when I see a few rioters, and it was a few, it was absolutely a few, I will physically fight you on this, because compared to the thousands upon thousands upon thousands who did not engage in any shenanigans, yes, it's a few. People who behaved like Antifa deserved appropriate charges. However, there were many others who received some serious penalties and weird indefinite detentions for things like unlawful parading when they didn't even enter the Capitol. We're going to be talking to some of them coming up. They were left to hang without a pardon. Yes, I know. They were, though. They were left to hang without a pardon. You can sit here and say, well, he only had 13 days after. Or they didn't know what the charges were going to be. That didn't matter when Nixon was pardoned. You can issue a pardon, in layman's terms, for whatever you anticipate the charges to be. You're the president. You can do that. So there was no funds received for bail or attorney's fees. So I just think if someone's going to call you to go out and protest, maybe make sure. And he didn't tell people to riot. We carried that on air on the 6th. So I'm not going to be gaslit into believing an alternate version of what I literally played on my airwaves. But he did want people to rally with him and all of that. I just think, don't go and get baited by someone who's not going to pay your bond. That's just kind of my rule, right? Oh, you won't cover my bond? I ain't going to go out and protest. Just kind of how I look at it. Now, I think that Trump is absolutely, you should defend him on this, because this is stupid. It's stupid. These are stupid charges. But at the same time, he wants the television theater of it. Now, this is where it gets tricky for him. And it brings me to my next point. There was, and I wasn't alone in saying this, there was a very particular benefit that Trump had for announcing early, no matter what your opinion of his campaign or anything else is. Because the reality of this is that he wants to look pursued by the feds. If I'm looking at his campaign, if I'm running his campaign, it benefits him to not have to go head to head with a challenger. It benefits him to look like he is pursued by the federal government and avoid any kind of contest with a potential challenger, primary challenger. There's a downside to this, though. Downside is this. The electorate is broke. The electorate is suffering from inflation. The electorate is still dealing with supply chain issues. The electorate is still fighting in their school boards. They're still trying to stay afloat here in the beginnings of this recession. They will get tired of non-stop headline saturation. That is a reality. And the American Pravda knows this. Trump does not. Now, here's the reality of that awareness. Lack of media discipline has always been simultaneously both Trump's strongest point and weakest point. And it takes someone who understands the media landscape of the political sphere. You can only do television theater in politics for so long. You can only do boardroom tactics in the political sphere for so long. It is different. It is a different animal. And a lot of the people who were around him last time, who helped craft that strategy and knew how to maximize his strongest and weakest point, are not there anymore. I think that's why he's making some bad decisions. All those people are gone. That's a fact. So this is the time for cooler heads and smart moves. You cannot allow your political opposition to manipulate you into reacting emotionally and doing what they want you to do. So, as I said in my newsletter, my advice is to take a breath and take a beat and let the left get over their skis, because that is what they do every single time.